Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and man, am I excited to get out this video. As I've shared many times, I've been going through a lot, especially the last several weeks. This week has been a lot better. I'm very thankful. I've been getting a lot of information from the Lord, some revelation times. It's been amazing. I've definitely been going through a lot of physical stuff in the past with being dizzy and stuff, and I think I'm getting some attached from this tower that's really close to me. So I'm looking at that. I'm actually have some magnets that I'm using. It's having an impact, I think. So I'm gonna try a few other things. So, man, there's a lot going on in the world right now with the CV virus and all that stuff. It's insane. So we're so close, I believe, and hopefully this shows you how incredibly close we are. And hopefully I'm right this time. But this is still my grand guess, my GG. So GG, of course, G is 7, so that's 7 7. And I really had no idea when I was saying that, even though I know I based that on like Golden Gate and all the GGs that the enemy is signaling for, which is 7 7. But I had no idea really what the Lord was going to show me about this and what I'm going to unveil to you today. So it's just amazing. So I'm doing so much better. I'm thankful, at least this last week, with so many things. And I'm excited to roll this out for you. So, as I've shared many times, this is the scene in iPad Goat where Lily, the character, and she has the apple, and she's about to give birth. It represents the Revelation 12 sign. The virgin clothed in the sun. She's sitting in the circle, which is the sun, with the moon at her feet, with the 12 stars above her head. So these 12 figures behind her. But it's the enemy's version of it. It's Satan's version of it. And this all of iPad Goat, this video, iPad Goat 2, is really about the birth of the Antichrist. Okay, of course, there's stuff in there as well about that hint to the birth at the same time of the man-child into heaven, which is the Revelation 12 signs really based on, that we saw in September 23rd, 2017. Okay, but this whole video is about the birth of the Antichrist, which I have said many times, and I'm going to show even more evidence in this video, and even part 2, probably a little bit more, of Stinky B.O., or former Prez B.O., Obama, whatever you want to call him. He is the Antichrist. So, and I'm going to show how these things tie together. It's really crazy. This is, for this time frame that's coming, I am so amazed in how it relates to all the things I've said in the past as well. So, very excited about this. So let's get to it. So I'm saying basically that this next time frame that's super, super possible, it's my grand guess. It's very possible when all these things will start. It's going to be 3/2 or March 2nd, 2020. Now I put on here February 2nd, 2020, because they relate to each other in a big way. One is one full moon cycle, because this is a leap year. February is a leap month. Of course, you add one more day, and that just happens to be one full moon cycle and about a half of a day, roughly, but it's right in there. And that hints to it being backwards 9/11. So 2 is really 1 plus 1. And there's so much to this. So it's kind of like a dress rehearsal that February was for March, I believe, and rituals like in the Super Bowl and things like that, because things are pointing to these things that were in February as well, and ushering in this time, I believe. Now, again, this is my grand guess, so here's my evidence for my guess, okay? And then as the apple drops, she's in pain, it drops, and that's on the 2nd. Now, as I've shown you how it relates to the Super Bowl on February 2nd, being kind of a mirror, or I should say like a shadow of the Super Bowl, was showing a lot of these things. For example, in Miami, the word Miami is 45, but if you break it up, it's a mirror of 12/2. And like I've showed before, I thought this could have been February, because February to the elites is really the 12th month. But 1 plus 2 is 3, and then here's 2. So this could be what they're really signaling, 3/2, is what I'm saying. Okay, and then again, in the San Francisco's and Kansas City's simple gematria and Miami, it all equals 12/2, or 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 2, 3/2. So there's so much to this. And that's why I'm sharing what 3/2 is, I'm thinking. And that's going to be the representation of a birth that starts a 13-day process, with the 2nd being the first day of that 13 days. Then the apple rolls across the checkered floor. Again, that's the symbol for masonry, where, all politics is basically a chessboard to the elites. It's false, good, and bad, basically, as a game, and they're keeping you on the game while they're doing their moves in secret. So that's just how it works. So, the people that you think are on your side, maybe whether you're a fan of Stinky BO or Trumple Thin Skin, either way, it's all part of a show. All the world leaders that you see on television or in the news or in the media, they're all bought and paid for. They're all part of the show, like I've said a million times. And I prove it every single time I show a video and all the evidence I show. And my videos go one on top of each other. So I have right now about a year and a half of videos that are bring a lot of truth all together. It's quite a compelling case that I brought since I started. Okay, and so the apple hits the 7, which is an upside down 7. Okay, but it's kind of a right side up L and then a C. Okay, but when it touches the 7, and like I've shared before, back here, upside down and backwards, you can kind of see the H. I'm not going to get into that right now, but upside and backwards is Hawaii. But there's the H right here. It's kind of hidden a little bit by this, where the light's shining on it. But I've showed this in several videos. There's an H, and it goes AWAII across here. But as it touches the 7, the H appears, and it rolls across, and it spells out backwards Hawaii and upside down. Okay, so something I believe will happen on the 8th day, or the 8th, which is actually the 7th day of the apple roll. Okay, and then I'm saying that 3 is really 1, 1, 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1, and then 8 is this. And I've shared many times in my videos how 1118 code is in several places in iPad code, and 1119 code, which is also Knights Templar. And I'm going to get into that more in my next video as well. Okay, so basically, let's go to the next one. So that's 3/8. So like I said, 3/2 is a birth, and there may be something that happens on that day. Not sure, but not necessarily the attacks, and not necessarily the 3/8. But I think something may happen with Hawaii with lava, like I've shown before. Lava may come out of Kilauea, may or may not. And then we could have either a symbolic attack on Obama as being the symbolic head wound, or a real head wound, a real wound, attack on Stinky BO. Okay, and then so the 9th, 3/9 would be the next day, and that's when the apple rolls past the C and forms an 8. So the C and the apple make an 8 shape, and again, that's that'd be 1119. Okay, but it's technically the 8th day of the apple roll, but it's coded as 1119. And that's Mr. Trumple Thinskin. He is Mr. 911 or 119. He got elected on November 9th. Technically, it was past midnight of November 8th, and he was elected the next day. In fact, that's funny because that's 2 days. One was 1118, which is November 8th. Then after midnight, then he was finally elected officially at 119, and that's both the codes of 118 and 119. They love these things. They're obsessed with this stuff. Okay, so, and then that will be, like I'm saying, an attack and elimination of Trumple Thinskin, and also possibly I'm saying a possibly attack on Jerusalem at the same time, because 3/9 is Purim, and that is, again, this is a full moon. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this on my next video. It's a full moon, just like February 9th was a full moon as well. And iPad Go shows the child coming out of the mosque with a whirling dervish, and it's at a full moon. And the code behind him in the building-like structure 2 times, which I've shown before, and I'll share more on the next video, which I've already shared tons of, which is 12/9 or 2/19, which is again 3/9. I'm saying now 3/9 is when the full moon, and that ties to this completely. Okay, so, and that's going to be an attack on Trumple. That's going to be elimination of Trumple. That's going to be elimination, probably attack on, again, the Lincoln, the USS Abraham Lincoln. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's what it's showing. It's supposedly, I mean, I haven't looked at it lately, but I'm going to have to start looking at it pretty soon as far as where it's going to be or what they're saying. So, and all that stuff. But that's what it's showing right now. And even possibly, like I've shown in iPad Go, it shows 2 aircraft carriers being attacked, I believe. And that could be the Truman as well. And Truman is, as far as I know, is still over in the Middle East. So this will be perfect timing for all that. Okay, here we go. And then also, as some evidence for 3-9 as well, is it was my water bill, which was the same 3 times in a row, which I've shared in the past several times. It was which is amazing because I actually share water with a business. It's a long story, but to have my water bill 3912 3 months in a row, which has never been the same twice ever in 3.5 years of being here at this place, almost actually about 4 years now. About 4 years now I've been here, so never having the same water bill twice ever, and it was 3 times in a row. And when you added my water bill to my rent, it was 12,129,912, and so I believe that's 3993. And there's other things going on as well, but look at the water bill. It's 3912. So that's 3-9, and then also you can look at it as being 3-9, and then an attack on 3-12, or there's just a lot of ways to look at it. So I'm trying to decipher the clues that the Lord's given me. He gives me puzzle pieces, and I'm trying to decipher what He knows what the truth is. I don't completely. I'm just going by the clues He gives me and do my best to give my guesses on these videos. Okay, what it all means together. And I'm compiling a lot of information. So especially this one is quite amazing what's coming, what I'm going to share with you in this video. I'm still kind of blown away by it. And then check this out. March 9th, 2020 in simple Gematria, spelled out completely, is 322, the Skull and Bones, what I call attack code. Okay, which, is that a coincidence? A massive, massive coincidence? I mean, look at all those characters. It'd be like this date trying to match 322, and it's like you're trying to figure out the combination, which each letter, if you look at each letter, March 9th, 2020, each letter being a combination lock, a code, and you're trying to match it to this date, and it's impossible. I mean, that this would match up in so many ways. That's what this is saying. It's impossible. It's off the charts that this spelled out March 9th, 2020 would actually equal 322 and what I've been saying. Okay, and I'm going to get into more about that. It's pretty phenomenal. And then we have the tsunami attacks on both coasts, which this apple represents. And I've shared it many times. I can get into it, all of it right now again. But 311 is the West Coast. It's Hawaii because Obama, this is his foot. He's from Hawaii. He was supposedly born in Hawaii, not really. But this is the West Coast, is the East Coast. And so West Coast is 311 because it's a little after 9 p.m. And then the same time, same exact moment, but different time zone is 5 hours later. It would be a little bit after 2 a.m. on 312. Okay, for the both tsunami attacks. And this is a tsunami wave right here. It also caused by a submarine, so they're showing two sides of this, but this all together, this foot looks like a submarine. So a submarine is causing the tsunami wave for both coasts, and they're twin attacks. We're talking about twin birth, twin this, twin that. Everything's about twos. They love twins on so many ways. And then of course 3 and 112 is 3-3, and then 311 is 3-2. And I've talked about how Obama is 3-2. Or 2-3 backwards, and why 2-3 is such a big deal. It's actually the birth of the Antichrist. That's what 2-3 is. That's why they love 2-3. It's the day of the birth of the Antichrist. It is represented by several days. Definitely this whole 13-day period, I believe. Whatever the 13-day period actually is, and all these codes actually represent that I've found, which is, I have an amazing amount of stuff that that has to line up, and this is one that everything lines up. And I spent this last week and a half really trying to tear this theory down, and I haven't been able to yet. And everything's just lining up. Everything I've ever done. And I had this whole episodes of the next 9/11. I'm going to get into that in a minute here as well. And all the codes that I've said in those are completely fitting with this. It's just phenomenal. So all the work I've ever done really is proving this and what I'm saying right now in this video. So then we have 314, which is 14 is 7 plus 7. Which is 7, 7. They're really into sevens. I mean, there's a 7 right there. And then, how it shows all the hearts in iPad Goat is showing how this stuff starts around the time of, like, the coronavirus and all that stuff started around the time of the Valentine's Day, okay? And that's what it's showing here. So 14 is another, as far as February 14th was another 14, which is 7 plus 7. And then we're going to the actual final attack day of the nukes of March 14th, which is 7-7. Okay, and why I'm saying this is I've seen this in the past. I've shared so much about this. But what's amazing about this is I was in the shower a few days ago, and a lot of this stuff was starting to come together, especially after I have this thing where there's certain things I do, like if I go for a walk with the Lord, or sometimes when I used to ride my motorcycle when it was nicer, not snowing and everything, I'd get these downloads from the Lord, and then He'd say different things, for different things. Just sometimes just day-to-day stuff, important things that He wanted to share with me. Or just seeking Him for different things, whatever it is. But here I am, I'm thinking about some of this stuff, and then He said, it's all about the 7 sevens. I'm like, what the heck? So then I asked my brother, Whiteboard Gematria, my brother Dallas at Whiteboard Gematria. You should check out his channel. He's got a lot of different conclusions than me, but he does a lot of similar things with the numbers, and he's confirmed several things I've been saying. He looks at things a little bit differently in different ways, but we have a lot of similarities. Well, he said, when he sent me some information about this, when I was asking about this, right after I got this from the Lord, I was just like, this is confirming what I've known about 7-7, but even more stuff. So he put that S equals 7 and Shaddai. The two hands are employed. It's Shaddai, or 7-7. 7-7 is also Saturn Shaddai, or Saturn Almighty, which what they worship Saturn. The black cube, Saturn, the black sun, many things that's called. And Satan is synonymous with Saturn. I think that's what he meant to say. Satan is synonymous with Saturn. Same thing applies with the show SNL. SNL is S and L, which is crazy. There's just all this signaling all over the media on this stuff. Now look at this. Look at these hand signs here. Where does that come from? And look at the Star of Molech, which people think is the Star of David. But where does that come from? Well, there's Spock. There's live long and prosper, right? In Star Trek, he's doing the double shin here. And there's all kinds of meanings, 33666, and that's him, Mr. Leonard Nimoy. Okay, and then there's a rabbi basically doing it with this, and actually it's probably a Kabbalist doing that, and do it the triangle in the middle. So you do the double shin, okay, and the shin is the letter. It's the second to last letter in the Hebrew alphabet, and it looks kind of like that. It looks kind of like a crown. It looks like a fire. It looks like it has different representations. I'm not getting all that right now. Okay, or another thing he wrote was S or Evan, S in 7 and L in 11, or S and L. Okay, or S and L, which is crazy. Okay. In Hebrew, S is Shin and L is God. So Shin means Almighty and L is God. So 7-11 means God Almighty, or in Hebrew, El Shaddai. So again, 7-11, or which is 7 times 11, equals 7-7. And so I started finding so much more stuff when the Lord said that, and then I understand this a little bit more. It was crazy. And then in my chart that I've shown past, I've had to change some things. In fact, I'm going to show you some things in this timeline, but I'm going to show you far more in just slides with dates and showing you all these different events that have happened in the past and how they relate to this new set of dates. It's just amazing. Okay, and then of course, God's name, Yahweh, which I call him Yahweh, is 777, or it looks like, in Hebrew, it looks like 777, okay? That's why this is so godly in his sign. So this was a Revelation 12 sign right here. And then 7 plus 7 days, or 14 days before that, was when Virgo, or Jupiter actually came out of in between the legs of Virgo, when it was inside for 9 months and 23 prophetic days. 9 prophetic months, which is 30-day time periods, 9 of those, plus 23 days is 293 days. And then it exited Virgo from between the legs. It's kind of like a stick figure at 9-9, which is the actual birth. And 7 plus 7 days was a Revelation 12 sign with alignment of planets and everything. And then 777 days later, which is what I found. I forgot to put this in here, dang it. But you can go back to my other videos. I found an alignment of the same 5 planets with the sun, completely paralleled above in this horizon in San Francisco to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is the Golden Gate alignment. And like I said, I've given credit as well to Daniel with Logic Before Authority, and he was alerting people about the fires that were being caused by the elites, by their weapons that they use, whatever the weapons are that they use that are causing these fires. And there was a perfect line of 6 fires. One was bigger in the exact position where the sun was, and that was in the ground in California, parallel to the Golden Gate Bridge on the ground, while there was 5 planets in the sun parallel to the Golden Gate Bridge in the sky at the same time. And so when he found that, that confirmed for me those fires that he found and how they were by satellite, that they were in a perfect alignment and they were parallel to the Golden Gate Bridge. That confirmed for me that what I was looking at was really the Golden Gate alignment, and that was ushering in the opening of the Golden Gate at some point after that, which I didn't know what it was. I'm speculating again what this might be. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But nobody has talked about that. Virtually nobody, except for him talking about that this might be something. But I'm attaching this distance from 777 days, which is God. I mean, he did this. I mean, he put this together. He made these planets line up. He made them do what they did. So Sirius, the dog star, basically went up in the sky in San Francisco on that day, and it was 11/9. So that's 9/11 backwards. I mean, it's crazy as well. Okay, this is all planned by the elites as far as the calendar to match this by the day 11/9, which is 9/11 backwards. But God planned the timing of all this and how these relate as far as these sevens. It's crazy. Let me keep going. And it just so happens to be after I'm thinking about these sevens, and the Lord's saying it's all about the 7 sevens, then exactly from the Golden Gate alignment, 77 days later was the Chinese New Year on 1/25. And I was talking about that as a possible attack day, final attack day. And that was big. That's showing an iPad Go with the fireworks going off, which also means coronavirus and all kinds of stuff. It's really crazy. Okay, but there's more to this. Check this out. Okay, so I did that. I figured out, okay, 77 days are there. What's really going on? But when I really started understanding this, it was starting to unlock, I think. And I've talked in my last video. You should check out my last video about Kobe Bryant, how he equals the CV and also the Stinky BO in many, many ways. But let me show you how this equals this. This is phenomenal. So he was basically killed on January 26th, which is on the Gregorian, it's 126. And when I saw that, I realized what that was. And then I saw it. And then my brother, Dallas from my brother Gematria, did some stuff on it. And then I was actually looking at some stuff with Kobe Bryant before that. And then I saw he was doing more stuff. And then it unlocked more insight for me. It seems like this happens a lot. When I'm working on certain things, there's somebody out there on YouTube that I know of that's doing something similar. And it's been Daniel Cannon several times with Logic Before Authority doing similar things at the same time. And he may bring an insight that adds more understanding to what I'm thinking, or it opens up more things that I'm thinking about and I become look at more stuff. Or he may be looking at something that's exactly the same as I just found. And it's phenomenal what God does sometimes, how the synergy and how that works, even when people I necessarily don't even talk to or whatever. It's crazy. So then I realized, I was remembering back last year that Archie, the royal baby, was born on May 6th. Okay, which I remember when I was really doing a lot of studying into this last year. I know a lot about last year and the 2018 because I was really looking at numbers on everything. It's crazy. And that was, May 6th is the 126th day of the year. And that was signaling for a birth, okay, for a birth that was to come. And that's what he's signaling. He's the golden man or the golden child, signaling the birth of the golden man at the golden gate. But really, actually, that's what they're signaling. But really, the Antichrist is going to be born because Lucifer is going to be kicked out of the silver gate from heaven, cast down to earth, but he likes to think that he's going to be the golden man, and Stinky BO is the golden man as far as he's the golden mean, he's the golden ratio. He signs his last name with an O with a line through it, and all this stuff because he is a clone. He's been in a sense created or made, okay, by the people that made him. And changed his name to Barack Obama, which means lightning falling from the heights, which is what Jesus quoted in Luke 10:18. I see Satan falling as lightning, or Satan as lightning falling from the heights or from heaven, and that's what Barak Ubama in Hebrew means. And I've shown how over now, I mean, I haven't shown every single thing in all my videos, but I have over 400 reasons why he is the Antichrist, and nobody comes even remotely close. He is being signaled for being that. He is the Assyrian, it describes in the Bible. He is many things. And as far as also Meghan Markle that you see here, whether, some people say it's a male, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. It probably is whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they really are, it matters what they're signaling to me as far as what it's saying. Okay, so Meghan Markle was born, believe it or not, on August 4th, which is Barack Obama's birthday. She is partly white and black. Okay, so is Barack Obama. Archie is white and black as well, and that's Obama. Everything's pointing to Obama. It's really crazy. Okay, there's so many ways. Then you had this thing with him, Harry, back and forth with Obama and Michelle about the boom thing and all that video with Invictus Games, which I broke down as well. And all their coding in that fits what I'm going to share in this whole video. It's just phenomenal. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, what's so crazy about 126? 126 has many things going on with it. 126 is a crazy marriage of sevens and sixes. You know the Antichrist is about sixes, and we're talking about sevens here. So 126 is 18 times 7, or 18 sevens. Okay, well, what's 18 and what's 126? So 126 is 12 and 6, which is 666. Okay, 18, which is the one that's times 7, 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Okay, that's why, there's so much I can even talk about. It's crazy. Okay, let's keep going. And then May 6th, when Archie was born last year, okay, is really May, also looked at as May 9, because 6 is 9 because it's upside down. And then again, I've shared many of my videos that they look at 6 and 9 as the same, basically. 9 and I are the same. I and 1 are the same. There's certain things that look at the same. A slash can be a 1, a 1 can be a slash. I mean, there's so many things, but I'm not getting into all that right now. So 5, 9 is what? 5 plus 9 is 14, and 14 is 7 plus 7. Okay, so you see how 126 being the 126th day of the year, which was May 6th, how it equals 7, 7. It's all about the sevens, 7 sevens, as Jesus said to me. I'm just blown away by some of this stuff. Okay, let's keep going to this phenomenal stuff I have to show you. So Monday, May 6th, to even confirm this even more, Monday, May 6th, 2019, when the day Archie was supposedly born, because again, all this stuff's all concocted, made up, and who knows what the baby really is, and if he's a clone and all that, who knows what it is. And she wasn't really pregnant, and is she really a she? And I mean, it's just, who cares? But what the messages is saying, so from when that baby was born till November 9th, I'm saying is the Golden Gate alignment, it just happens to be 187 days. Well, what was I saying is 126, 18 times 7, which is 187, or 187. That's phenomenal. That is more support number-wise for what I'm saying. So 8 times 7, okay, is 126. It's phenomenal. And then 5, 9, like we said, because 5, 6 is really 5, 9, and another way of looking at it is also 3, 9, because May is really the third month to the elites. Again, our whole calendar is off by 2 months. For example, like I've said many times, I'll say it again, when we say September, we think that is the 9th month, but to the elites, it's Latin. Septem is 7. And then when we say October, we think, 10th month. But no, octo is really 8, like an octagon, and I mean, all the octo words. It's 8. So everything's 2 months off. And that's what I've been sharing in all my videos. So May to them is really the third month. So if we're talking about May 6th, which is really May 9th in a way of looking at it, and then May is really not the 5th month, but the 3rd month, then we have 3, 9, which is an attack day I'm talking about. And then 3, 9 is really 3 times 9, which is 27, and backwards is 72, which is the Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier's number 72. I'm just saying how they do these things. They reverse things, they add them, sometimes them. I mean, they do these crazy things for this hidden stuff. And then on 7-2 is 72, or 2-7, or 7-2, doesn't matter, is 7 times 2, which is 14. And 14 is 7 plus 7. And again, 5, 9 is also 5 plus 9, which is 14, and 7 times 2 is 72, which is 14, which is 7 plus 7. Hopefully you're following this, because this is kind of the junk they do. It's kind of the crazy number stuff that they do, and I'm just exposing it. I don't do any of the gematria myself. I don't care a darn about it in my life, but I use Ephesians 5:11, expose the darkness. And that's what the Lord's wanted me to do, to show you what they're doing and show these attacks before they are coming. And that's what my whole mission has been, and to share the twin birth, the birth of the man-child, which is that's a masculine version, a man-child into heaven, which is the body of Christ that's actually following Jesus and knows Jesus, or the bride, which is the feminine version, the bride that's going into heaven to be it's the body of Christ joining to the head at the same time, roughly. Then when we're gone, the Antichrist is born, and that's a twin birth, the evil birth and a good birth, and that is the yin and yang. Okay, evil and good at the same time born. Okay, so Archie, his full name is Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. So I'm gonna show you how this is crazy. So Archie Harrison just happens to be 7/7. So 8 plus 6 is 14. That's 7 plus 7. 14 right here. And these are Jewish gematria. 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 14. That's 7/7. Archie, and the reason why I'm showing these two, it's Archie by itself and Harrison by itself. And this is how it also relates to Stinky BO, because again, Stinky BO is the 44th Prez. So again, we have 11 times 4 is 44 in both of his names, and it's both first names. And then also in Harrison, this is simple, this is reverse simple basically. Then this one is English gematria, everything's times 6, simple's times 6. And then this is Harrison is 216 backwards, or 612, which 216 is the 216th day of the year, which is BO's birthday. Okay, the 216th day of the year, which is August 4th, which is what Archie's mother's birthday is. I mean, are you kidding me? This all lines up. There's so much more I can even talk about that I can't even think of right now. There's so much that they line up. It's just amazing. Okay, and then Mountbatten Windsor is, 2 plus 5 is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 8 plus 6 is 14, which is 7 plus 7, and then we have 7, 7 again. I mean, are you kidding me? Hopefully you're seeing this, the 7 7s, and they're obsessed with the 7 7s. And other things as well, other numbers that relate to all this stuff. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is another thing about May 6th is about this year. And as my brother Dallas with the Whiteboard Gematria would call it, the leaked war date with Iran. I love my brother. He's awesome. I don't agree, unfortunately. I believe it's all a ploy. They're not going to actually, nothing's leaked. When Trump said, when people thought he accidentally called 9/11 7/11 because he's saying it, or they thought he messed up, right? He says called 9/11 7/11. No, he's an elite. He knows that it's off by 2 months. He knows September is really 7, so that's why he said 7/11. These people at Google, they did this on purpose to signal for the people who were looking, and people who didn't even know, and some people who even know some things, that this is normally the 126th day of the year. But this year it's different, and I'm not getting into all that right now. But and then this person, I found another person that found this day and ended up Google searching war with Iran and seeing this day, which is quite phenomenal when you think about it. But I believe this is all code. It's not, they didn't actually release it. They didn't make a mistake. This is all planned because it's pointing to the 126th day of the year, which is many things. Also, on this day that they were showing it, that this person found it, was January 7th. January is really the 11th month, and so 11/7, January 7th is 11/7, which 11 times 7 is 77. Okay, back to 77 again. Okay, and so I'm saying here that the 126, which is part of May 6th, was the 126th day of the year, was also, like I said, Kobe Bryant's death day. I mean, all these things that 126 is pointing to, and there's more, and I'm going to show more in my next video as well. Is saying I believe it's saying 126 days from the Golden Gate alignment to the actual birth of the faithful in Christ, which will be 3/14, which will be March 14th. And so this is composed of 2 sets of 7 7s. So 126 is 77 plus 7 times 7. So 7 times 7 is 49. So 77 plus 49 is 126. Okay, if you keep breaking this down, 7, so we're talking about sevens. So how many sevens is in 77? 11. And how many sevens is in 49? 7. So 11 times 7 is 77 again. So in 126, as far as the sevens that we have 11, and then it goes to that New Year's date, which I believe is, again, marked out by iPad Go and other things, I've shared. And then we have the second group time period, which is 7 sevens. And so we have 11, 7 again, and that's 11 times 7 is 77. So this balances in a sense. We have 7 plus 7 over here, or 7, 7, and then we have 7, 7, 7, and then we have over here 7, 7. Because this ends up being, how many sevens do we have? Just a few different ways of looking at it. So hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to add this as well. I've shared this before, how the Great American Eclipse Day all the way to the Golden Gate alignment to establish that this 8/11, how much they love 8/11, everything. And then I'm saying now, from another thing that people don't know is from 9/9, which is the birth when Jupiter came out of Virgo, all the way to 3/8, which is technically has to do with Stinky BO, but it also kind of blurs into the Trump attack, is 3839. And from there to there is 911 days. And I'm saying this is the time of the first attacks. And that's another reason for that's called 9. That would be 9/11. Also, the 9th and then the 11th is 9/11. All these days are 9/11 in several ways, and they are the ultimate. This 13-day period, I'm saying, is the ultimate 9/11. With the first 9/11 back in September 11th of 2001 was really just a foreshadow of. That wasn't the real 9/11. These are the real 9/11s, and they're to completely cripple the United States and the American people. So the United States is completely taken out of the way. It's the second 9/11, which is what iPad Go 2 shows. It's the second 9/11. Okay, I call it the next 9/11, or the actual real 9/11. Okay, so here we go. And then back to this thing here. And remember, on this day, from that day, which is January 7th to May 6th of this year, is 68 days, which just happens to be 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 is 7 plus 7, another 77. And then my brother, Dallas, however, Gematria, sent me a screenshot. He said he did a couple of them, but one was on this particular day, which was January 12th. So that the other one I just showed you was January 7th. He thought that it was up on Google for about 7 days, which about a week. He said a week. So I'm thinking, okay, about 7 days. And maybe each day that they had it up, I think might have been code for different things. And it just so happens that the code I showed in the January 7th was a code of 7s. And then check this one out. So this is, look up at the top corner up here, okay? January 12th is what he took the screenshot about he calls it the leaked Iran war date. I just call it the messaged Iran war date, okay? But here, check this out. So from the conception of Jupiter going into Virgo on November 20th, 2016, it going back and forth retrograde, Jupiter going back and forth retrograde inside the belly, or the body of Virgo, back and forth. It was just crazy for 9 months and 9 prophetic months and 23 prophetic days, because that's what's used in the book of Revelation, prophetic days and months, which is crazy, okay? And that's another huge confirmation that was real. Till this final attack day, I'm saying, is 1,211 days, which just so happens to completely match the 12th of January, which I just showed on that screenshot from my brother Dallas, okay? And then, of course, 12th of January, or 12/11, 1 plus 2 is 3/11, so that's also 3/11 code. There's so much going on here, it's crazy. And then, like I've shared in my next 9/11 series, which has about 13 episodes, all the codes that I break down, one of the main codes is 1121. Was 1121. I was thinking at the time it was November, and then when that didn't happen, because I knew, January was the 11th month, but I thought they could be using it as code for the Gregorian. Like this time is 3/11, and 3/11 is Sorry, 3 is March, which is also possible that 3 could actually represent May, and it could be May 11th. Okay, so I'm not saying I have it 100%. I'm saying this is what seems to match right now, and there's so many things that line up, so many days to line up with this time frame. Okay, I'm just do my best to give my grand guess right now. But see how 1121, the code I had in my next 911 is one of them, is exactly 1211 backwards. Okay, so the codes I found in my next 911 series are, in a sense, completely backwards to this, which is what they do. Okay, and then this is mind blowing here. This is really mind blowing. So from July 4th, 1776 to March 14th, the final attack day, is 89,008 days. 89,008 days, which is phenomenal because you know that 9 is a throwaway number when they're adding, or 8 plus 9 is 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. So we have 88. We also have in the middle of that 900. What's important about that? I'll get into that in a second. So we have 88, and then we have 900 in the middle. What's important about 900? Well, check this out. From the Revelation 12 sign, okay, to why this is important, why I picked these days. The Revelation 12 sign was the alignment showing just a declaration of the birth. The birth was 14 days earlier, but it was a kind of a declaration of the birth with alignment of planets and everything, and the moon and everything. But the reason why I have March 11th is because that's when I believe that will be the tsunamis. 11th and 12th will be the tsunamis, east and west coast. Tsunamis is when the innocent will leave, and I believe the faithful in Christ that are part of Jesus' army that are going to come back during the tribulation. Okay, and that is the first time the portals open. So that's why that's significant, I believe. Okay, so so we have 900 days. And again, that's the beginning of judgment. Okay, and I believe it's very possible that when Jesus was, not when the woman was going to be stoned in the Bible, and Jesus said, let he that was without sin cast the first stone. Well, he may be the one casting the first stone because he is without sin. He may be casting the first stone. We could have a meteor. A lot of the predictive programming shows a meteor strike, or they could be saying 2 meteor strikes, which people are probably going to believe, but I think it's really going to be nuclear subs. So in a sense, he's throwing a rock into the water, or, throwing the first stone or whatever in a sense. But the predictive programming shows Russian subs shooting Poseidon and nuclear torpedoes. Anyway, so 900 days is because to God 9 is judgment. So that's really substantial. So that would be the first wave. In fact, in Jeremiah 51:42, read Jeremiah 51:42. Okay, go ahead. If you don't know what it says, read it. And that's going to confirm what I'm saying about the tsunamis. Read it. Okay. And then this is another phenomenal one. Remember Trumple Thinskin saying, this represents the calm before the storm, with a bunch of military and everything to the media. And they're like, what? And it was a really cryptic thing to say. This represents the calm before the storm. And what a wacko to say that. I mean, if you believe Trump's a good guy, I mean, why would he say such a wacko nutball thing? I mean, he is not. He's proven himself not to be in many ways. I'm not liberal or conservative. I am follower of Jesus. And both sides are tricking everyone to fight against each other and do the wrong things. But he said this represents the calm before the storm. And I believe it's very possible that it's 888 days. And then that would be March 11th, the tsunami attack days. March 11th / March 12th. It depends if you include the day or add or just adding days. It doesn't matter. It falls the same way. But I'm just using March 11th as an example of 311. Okay. And by the way, the German guy who shared a ton of videos about 11/3 or November 3rd being attacked on Seattle and all this stuff in predictive programming about Seattle and the space station and all that stuff. Where is he? Where is he? I mean, I know where his channel is and everything. In fact, I'm probably going to link his channel in my description box. So if you haven't seen all the evidence he shows for 11/3, which I believe is very possible, 311, and my disagreement with him was that 311 or 11/3 was a code. It's the real thing. in some other form. And plus, Seattle is just one city that's going to be attacked. There's many cities. We're talking about San Francisco. We're talking about many major cities, especially I'm talking about the West Coast as well. Los Angeles, they're all going to be attacked. There's predicted programming for several cities on both coasts and other cities being attacked. Okay, it's just phenomenal. Just with the 811 code, San Francisco sticks out like a sore thumb, but so many things. So anyway, and if you want to look at more evidence of this time frame, he just has it backwards. But I think if he doesn't bring out he hasn't bring out any stuff or re-brought his stuff out for the exact opposite of what he said of 11.3. Why not bring out stuff right before 3.11? Because I believe he was given that. Now, if he ends up coming out with a bunch of stuff right before, then I'll take this back. But my initial suspicion was that he was allowed, or he's a member of the Illuminati, or the member of these club, one of these clubs that's part of the control, and he put this out there to just disinformation, or to give all this stuff predicting dates a bad name. So all these people jumped on his bandwagon. A lot of people that came to my channel jumped on his bandwagon and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not the date. It doesn't fit with many things. It's not the code. It's just not the code. It's the biggest thing. It was not the code. It was not the code. But now this one backwards, with all the other supporting stuff I'm talking about with the other days, it matches all the code, every bit of the code I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, Trumbull said the calm before the storm on October 5th, 2017, exactly 888 days later, is the tsunami days, which is the storm. We're talking about water, massive walls of water hitting both coasts at the same time, coordinated nuclear strikes by nuclear subs, Russian nuclear subs. Are you kidding me? Okay. Also, Donald J. Trump is 888. So why wouldn't it be done in 888 days? Plus, Trumbull is also 111. Donald John Trump is 111. Okay, what's 1? What is March to the elites like Trump? Because he said 7/11 instead of 9/11. To the elites, March is really 1. So if 111 is 3/11. Plus, remember the whole signaling that we're talking about with Kobe Bryant? What's 24? 24 is 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 888. It all ties in. I'm telling you, I'm giving you some concrete stuff, people. This is amazing. I got far more fascinating, amazing, incredible stuff coming. And again, that's 311. Plus, that's 311 right here. This down here is 111, which is 311, because March is really the first month into the elites. Then look up here, September 23rd, which was Revelation 12 sign, is 311 backwards. It's 3, 2 plus 9 is 1, 1. So September's 9th month, and 2, that's 1, that's 11, 311 in a sense backwards. It's crazy. And again, they set up these days on the Gregorian to hit these days. Now, let's say they made a completely different calendar. None of these days would hit these certain, symbolic days. Like the Revelation 12 sign could have hit on another month name, another month number. It doesn't matter. Then it wouldn't be 9/23, and it wouldn't completely line up with the attack day of 9/23, which I'm going to talk about, which is really 3/29. Wow, so many things. Okay, and then check out this. This blew my ever-loving mind when I realized this. I could not believe this. Hopefully you get this and this blows your mind, because the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami, which I remember seeing the footage of it. If you haven't seen the footage, go look at the footage. It's hard. It just makes your heart drop. It's just crazy. There's people out there right there. They were just doing whatever, and here comes they weren't super, super high, but they were super destructive, and they killed, look at this, roughly 230,000 people. And it just happens to be, their estimate just happens to be 230. And it has to do with the actual attack day, which is backwards, which is 3/2, I believe, which is 3/11. Okay, are you kidding me? It's just crazy. There's so much in here. And then they said it's 14 countries, which is 7/7, $14 billion of damage, which is 7 plus 7, 7 sevens. Are you kidding me? Let's keep going. So they call it Boxing Day because that has to do with England, and around that time in December 26th was, Christmas, and, employers had factories, gave their, employees boxes with gifts in them, and they call it Boxing Day. That's what it's not actually boxing when you punch each other or whatever. It's Boxing Day. That's what they call it, the Boxing Day tsunami as well. But that was December 26, 2004 to March 11th. I'm saying is Tsunami Day. Okay, 5,555 days. Are you kidding me? No way. How can all these things, all these dates I'm going to show you, how can they all work out? I mean, how can they? And check this out. Okay, so Kobe Bryant, remember, he died January 26th, which is, of course, is 126. Well, look at December. December is really to the least the 10th month. So take the zero away, December is really 126. And then this will blow your noodle if you understand this. 126 is really a code for 329, which is 923 backwards. Why? Because 1 is the first month, which is March to the elites. So that's really 3. And of course, they look at 6 and 9 as the same. So 6 is really 9. So it's really 329. I'm going to give you more evidence of that soon. And then check this out. Kobe Bryant's jersey was 24. So right here you have Kobe Bryant's death and his jersey number in the Tsunami Day. 10 is really December, which is really 1. 1, 2, 6, and 24. It's all right here. Are you kidding me? Hopefully you see this. Again, they signal through every part of media. They want to get these things out in front of people, so they accept them. They accept all their numbers. They accept the power of all these numbers and what they're trying to say behind the scenes by you accepting and not questioning it, by millions upon millions of people and billions of people accepting all their messaging and everything. So it gets closer and closer to their one world government, one world religion with the one Antichrist and all that stuff. Okay, it's crazy. And then here's a big movie about this, and it's called Hyundai, which sounds like Hyundai, and it's kind of crazy because both are Hyundai or however you say it, is a South Korean company, auto company, and this is called Hyundai, which is crazy. And the Hyundai logo looks like water and maybe a tidal wave a little bit. So I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering if that's the case, and it kind of looks like this too. The H in the Hyundai logo looks like this. And what does this look like? What does this bridge that they're on with the tsunami look like? Oh, does it look like the Golden Gate Bridge? And has that been destroyed by tsunamis several times in movies? Yep. Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me, really? And that's not even what I'm showing you, really, but that's phenomenal. I mean, this suspension bridge looks just like the Golden Gate Bridge is being destroyed by a tsunami, which has been shown with Golden Gate Bridge so many times. This looks a lot like the Golden Gate Bridge. It's phenomenal. This is a big movie in South Korea, and overall, as far as graphics and everything, people consider this to be one of the top, tsunami movies. Even though I haven't seen it yet. At some point, I gotta watch it. And then, so from the release of that movie, which was July 22nd, 2009, to the Tsunami Day, I'm saying on March 11th, which is technically on the West Coast, but the East Coast is March 12th. But it doesn't matter if you include the day or add the day. It doesn't matter. It's either day. It's 3,885 days. Well, why is that important? For a few reasons. First of all, the most impactful reason, when I just showed you the 5,555 days with the Boxing Day tsunami in Indonesia. By the way, Obama's from Indonesia, grew up there, and that's why that's all is symbolizing where he grew. It's all about this. It's all about that nugget. Stinky B.O. I'm sick of him. I'm so sick of him, and I'm telling you, it's all about that. He came from there. As far as childhood and everything, they just signaled like crazy. They signal like crazy for this guy. It's ridiculous. Also, in the trailer for this movie, they refer to the Boxing Day tsunami. And so is it a shock that they're related exactly this way? Because this was from the release of this movie to March 11th this year is actually 555 weeks, and the Boxing Day tsunami was 5,555 days. Is it a coincidence? A massive, ridiculous, off the charts? Who could ever think of this or ever figure it out? Coincidence? No. All planned by demons working in people all over the world behind the scenes. That's a fact. Whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. You will eventually see it. And then another thing, 3885 is 3. 8 plus 8 plus 5 is 21. Backwards is 12. 312 is the other day. And then backwards, 3885 is 5883, which if you can probably figure it out, but it's actually backwards is 3111, which is 3/11. Because they also look at ones as slashes, slashes as ones. I've showed this 1,000 times in my videos. Okay, man, this is crazy. It just keeps coming. It keeps coming. So then we have, so check this out. From Boxing Day Tsunami in 2004 to the release of this Tsunami movie is 1,670 days, which 1 plus 6 is 7, and 7, that's 7/7. It's crazy. And then check this out. We got another Boxing Day, which was the eclipse, which is Heliophant logo is based on. From that, the eclipse, this is why this is substantial. The eclipse, I believe, this is very possible why all this is substantial. The eclipse on Boxing Day of December 26, 2019, it's a substantial one with Jupiter right here, and the annular eclipse, which looks like a ring, okay, not a different eclipse, is an annular eclipse. To this day of the tsunamis, I'm saying, is 77 days. And that's a coincidence. Both these Boxing Days, to both these days, it just had to be 7 and 7. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay, and here is from my last video. You should check out if you haven't watched it. And many of my previous videos you should check out. Because I bring a lot of evidence, whether it's the dates or not. I bring a lot of codes, a lot of evidence about different things, especially Stinky BO being the Antichrist. So here he is in his presidential portrait, like I showed. His foot is a snake. It's a black mamba, which is Kobe Bryant was called the Black Mamba. And then his legs upside down right here make a 32. And I decided to make that very clear. See? 32. See? 32. He is Mr. 32. I'm going to show you more why. And then, of course, there's Kobe, the Black Mamba. Both of his jerseys that he had at the Lakers in 2 different time frames add together to become 32. 8 plus 24 is 32. Or 24 is 8 plus 8 plus 8. So you have 8, 8, 8, 8. Are you kidding me? There's so much going on here. I can't even remember all the things to say. I'm just trying to hit the top main things. There's so much to cover. I mean, I literally have a video on all the stuff I've covered so far. I could have a video that's 2 more hours because I'm not covering every single thing on every single thing. It's crazy. Okay, so here we go. Then on my next 9/11 series, that was about 13 episodes. Again, I have this code. So I shared with you earlier the 1121 code, but now I have the 1123 code. Why is that important? Well, it's exactly backwards because Obama is 3-2, which is 3/11. 2 is really 1 and 1, but it's also the first day of the 13-day Apple roll, which is 3-2, and then the tsunami start on 3/11. So both are the same code. 3-2 is for both. And I've just started to realize this. It's a multiple days that they're looking at it because it's a process of the destruction of the United States. It's a process of a birth. They love this whole thing. They love the symbolism of it. They love the whole thing. They get off on it, it seems like. I mean, they are really sick with their methodical details of all these things that I've really uncovered over the last year and a half. It's really quite ridiculous. And so these things mean many things, but 3-2-1-1 is March 2nd, I believe, and then March 11th, which is both 3-2. But it's hidden in a way because you wouldn't think they have both dates in one number, but it is. Or just one date right here, 3-2, is the beginning of it all. March 2nd, beginning of it all. Okay. Now check this out. More evidence. Deep Impact movie. And they have this heaven and earth are about to collide. And yeah, no doubt. No doubt about that. They're about to collide. This is going to I believe the predictive programming, especially the movies and everything, shows an asteroid. Probably going to hear about 2 asteroids hitting, one hitting Pacific, one hitting in the Atlantic, causing these tsunamis. But really, behind the scenes, it's going to be subs. Okay, anyway. So from the release date of Deep Impact to the actual tsunami day I'm saying is 7,979 days. And you go, okay, whoop-de-doo. Well, it's more than just a whoop-de-doo. Remember I was talking, again, we're talking about Kobe Bryant. Now I'm talking about his daughter. And like, if you haven't watched the last video, watch it about Gigi. Kobe Bryant's daughter who died as well with him, apparently or supposedly. Who knows what really happened? I don't know. Her name was Gianna, and I covered this all in the last video, but her name was Gianna Bryant. but she went by Gigi, Gigi, which is in itself sounds like GG, but there's I's involved, which is 77. And then 7979 is her name in English Gematria, Gigi. And she died at age 13, which is the 13-day process, this 13-day apple roll, the destruction of the United States process I'm talking about. And that's all a coincidence? No. And Kobe Bryant died at 41, and backwards is 14, which is 7 plus 7. That's a coincidence? No, it's not. Divorce yourself of coincidence, especially ridiculous, off the charts, make no sense coincidence ideas. I mean, give me a break. That's at that point, it's planned, without a doubt. There's something behind it, spiritually, physically, both, or both, either one. Seriously, there's messaging, there's purpose behind it. Okay, so Gigi, and this amount of days from this to this is 311 or 77. Because Gigi is 32, which is Obama's number, which is 311. 2 is 1 plus 1. And then even look at the year on the release of this movie. It's 1 and 9 is 10. Take away the 0 is 1. 9 and 8 is 17. So we have 117 in the year, which is 77. And there's more in this day and right here and all that. I'm not going to get into that right now because I can get into every single thing I can't get into. And then like I showed you here. So this is March 11th right here. Now I'm going to give you an example with the 12th. Because we're either including the day or not including the day, which it can be either day, 11th or 12th, because we're talking about 2 days, and that's why they do this with 2-day thing. And also there's a time frame difference from the East Coast to the West Coast and everything. But you see here how the 12th is coded in heaven and earth are about to collide. Then we have here in Jewish reduction 12-3, the 12th of March, 294, or 9 plus 4 is 13. So we have backwards 3, 1, 2. So 9 plus 4 is 13. I didn't put this on here. 9 plus 4 is 13. So just think about backwards. March 12th. And then right here, 1 plus 6. Sorry. Again, what was this now? Trying to remember how this exactly went. But this is also 312 as well. Because you just got to add the numbers a little bit. But it's... yeah, okay, it was, 6 plus 9 plus 8 is 23, so it's 12-3, or the 12th of March, and that's what that is. I mean, this is another way they do this. So all these Jewish ciphers were all the same, being 312 or 12-3, or 123, which is an iPad goat all over the place. LC and iPad goat on Obama is a figure left of or to the right behind Lily. And then also the apple roll is LC, and all these LCs in iPad Goat are 12-3, or it's also the 12th of the third, or the 12th of the third month. And then there's other ways to look at it too, but anyway, that's one of the ways. Okay, so then we have another example, another different kind of, another media's, magazines and stuff. This is the Economist magazine of 1988. So that came out January 9th, 1988. And I'm saying March 9th being the first attack day, technically being the first attack day, which is March 9th, is exactly 11,749 days. Well, what is that? That is 11 times 7 is 77, and then we have 49, which is 7 times 7. And here we go, 11. Then we have this 11, 7, and then 7 times 7, which is 49. It's all right here. It's all showing that. That's when it's all going to collapse. The beginning of the collapse is March 9th. If all this is true, I mean, all the things, all the codes matching with this time frame, and it's really lining up incredibly. But, I mean, we'll see. It's my grand guess, like I've said. This is, let me pause for a second. Oh. Okay, my throat was getting incredibly dry. I had to take a drink. So we have... Excuse me a second. Wow. Very dry. Okay. So we have the Fukushima disaster with tsunami. which was, oh, hey, not even super encoded, March 11th. Okay, March 11th. And I'm giving this example showing it to the 12th because the numbers work out perfectly. But basically, March 11th to March 11th. I mean, just, but it doesn't matter because Tsunami is going to be on both days. As far as March 11th, March 12th. But look, the Tsunami was on March 12th. Are you kidding me? And then 2011 is something too, which I'll get into in a second. This is a massive. If you haven't seen footage of this, it's again just makes your heart sink. See all these people that died. See all these things being washed away. It's a massive amount, and this isn't even close. These are representations done by the elite, completely controlled, completely fabricated by the elite, by the weapons. Without a doubt, I have all the predictive programming I've shown, and it matches with these numbers incredibly. Let me go back here. This is to forecast, particularly program people to what's coming. And the waves are going to be hundreds of feet high. These are just like maybe 30, 40, 50 feet high. I don't know what it is exactly. But we're talking hundreds of feet high is what's coming. And that's why I'm warning you, because I care, because the Lord has this on my heart, and He has for the last year and a half. As far as, doing videos and stuff, but it's been on my heart even longer than that. As far as doing videos on YouTube. So, why is from that day to March 12th, I'm saying, is possible tsunamis, is 3,290 days. Why is that important? Well, again, it's 329 or 923 backwards. And that matches with, I've shared this, it's been a while since I've shared this, but the birth of the the birth of Jupiter out of Virgo on September 9th, 2017, to the next birthday of Barack Obama, the Stinky BO, the Antichrist, was 329 days, or 923 backwards. And again, 923 is when Barack Obama met with the Pope in 2015 to seal the destruction of the United States to make a pact and it was a ritual they did here. The Pope addressed Congress. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's when the Lord told me that basically the end of the United States just had begun. Okay, also from the Al-Aqsa Mosque fire / the I'm having a hard time thinking today. The Al-Aqsa Mosque fire / Notre Dame fire that was completely contrived. That is shown in iPad Go. The cathedral collapsing behind the Antichrist when he's revealed and everything. That was on April 15th, 2019. To March 9th, the first attack day, is 329 days. Just so happens to be because it represents a birth. It's a fiery event that represents the destruction and rebirth. Then we have 329 days from Tish B'Av, which was August 11th, which we have the 811 code. Tish B'Av being the most ominous day in Jewish history of the destruction of the first and second temples. And then it's going to be really in play for what's coming. And that just happens to be from that day to March 9th, happens to be 211 days, which is, look, 211 in this date. Look at that. See, 211 there. I'll show you what 211 really is. Okay. Then we also have from August 11th, Tish B'Av last year, to March 14th, which is 216 days. So 5 days later from this date, destruction day, to this final destruction day, is 216. Well, what's 216? Do you remember? It's the day of the year of Stinky BO's birthday, 216th day of the year. I mean, this just keeps you won't believe all the stuff that just refers to him. I mean, so many things in media, so many things in Gematria. Literally, all these things I'm talking about, why would all these things I've been talking about for a year and a half end up matching or coming across Stinky BO, Barack Insane Obama, for more than anybody else by far, if he wasn't it? Why wouldn't, Prince Harry come up a lot? Or why wouldn't, whoever people think Trump or whoever think the Antichrist are, why is Gematria always matching Barack Obama? Because he's it. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, he's not a figurehead. He's not whatever people think he is. I mean, seriously, I've shown it so many times. And my next video, because I just couldn't fit in, I'm already probably at a 2-hour video right now. I mean, I don't know, maybe a little less. I don't know. I'm going to show you some stuff that coordinate with what's going on in the media right now. and what's coming, and with all this stuff, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, anyway, and it's associated with him. All this stuff associated with him. I'm getting tired of it. I really am. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the stock market. This is crazy. So a couple days ago, which is the 24th, because I'm talking on the 26th, I believe it is now. We had the third largest Dow point drop. Okay, so these are previous Dow point drops. Okay, and this kind of puts us. I'm gonna wedge it right in because there wasn't a chart for this recent one, of course. So I'm wedge it in third position, February 24th, 1031.61. I mean, these are all code. This is not organic whatsoever. As I've shown in many videos, I've done this at least 100 times on the stock market, and I've come up with so many codes. And this one that just happened on the 24th will blow your mind if you really understand this. If you're not cynical, if you aren't super blind, and don't have your head way wedged in somewhere deep. I mean, it's crazy. You got to see this. This is just phenomenal. What I'm going to show you. And by the way, February is the 12th. According to the lead, it's the 12th month. And then 24 is 2 plus 4 is 6. And then there's our 126 code again. Just so happened to be, no big deal. Which is, like I said, really 329 and all that stuff. And then I'm just going to show you before I break down completely what happened on the 24th and all the numbers on that. I'm going to show you a couple of these drops and how they actually equal the attack days. So this one right here. This one's so obvious. I mean, 8 plus 3 is 11, and then 8 plus 3 is 11. So we have 11, 111.11, and then 111, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and so we have 311. Huh. I mean, that's super easy. And then you have this one that's, I mean, we're talking about 7 sevens. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at this. I mean, that sticks out like a sore thumb. And then this is 6 plus 8 is 14, which is 7 sevens. So this might as well just say 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. But even more than that, it's the attack day because 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21, and 6 plus 8 is 14, so 2 plus 1 is 3, and that's 14. So we have, so far, just in these two, and I'm not getting into any more on this, but some are a little bit harder to put together, but you just compress numbers like they do. And that's how, but these are super easy. These ones are pretty obvious. They stick out right away. I mean, anybody who knows anything about this or has any kind of eye for anything can see this right away. It's just phenomenal. Now let's get into the nitty gritty here. This is the crazy stuff. So before I break this down, what happened on the 24th and how many of these attack codes are in here, which is all of them, every number in here is an attack day code of the time frame I'm talking about. Every one. In fact, when you add them up, it's an attack day code. When you add them together, it's an attack day code. It is phenomenal. And in fact, I'm not going to show every single thing because it just takes too long. But you get the idea of what I'm going to show you. Before I show you that, though, I'm going to remind you what these days and what they mean and what they are. So the first is 3/2, March 2nd, which I'm saying again, this is my grand guess, is the birth. Okay, now something may happen on that day as far as symbolic or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be any kind of attack. I mean, it could be like a shootings or something like that. It could be some kind of attack, but not the main attacks. That are going to be the phenomenal ones that change the course of our country and everything. Okay, and then 3/8 is when the apple hits the 7, and I believe because it says Hawaii on everything, and I know Obama's, supposedly from Hawaii and all that and I'm showing in the head wound that's shown in iPad Go and all that stuff that looks like Obama's head and everything and all that. So we may have either a figurative or a symbolic or a real attack on Barack Obama, or he'll be killed or something. And then we're going to have, I believe, very possibly have lava coming out of Kilauea on that day. Now, if this happens, this might not happen, okay? Or it could be some things happen, some things don't. I don't know. So we'll see how it rolls, okay? And then 3/9, Trumbull is attacked. This is his code 1119, which is 111 is 3 and 9. And by the way, I've shared this before, but his buddy Jesse James, which was in The Apprentice, one of the guys, contestants in The Apprentice or whatever, he made a 45 caliber or a 45 handgun, which is for Trump. And of course, it's a 45 because he's the 45th president. That's obvious to everybody. What's not obvious is it's a model 1911, which is 1119. Just turn around a little bit. It's a model 1911. I mean, and I showed that. It's phenomenal. But Trump is not only his code is 119 or 1119 because he's Mr. 9/11, Mr. 11/9 because that's when he was elected and that's when he was all about 9/11 and everything. Also, he's Mr. 99, so he's 9, being President 45. And then Lincoln, the Lion King, Trump is the old Lion King, and the old Lion King or the Lincoln Lion King, get it? Lincoln Carrier will be attacked, and I believe that Truman also Truman will somehow. But it doesn't look like it right now, sure, but that's just what I'm saying. I'm still going by my theory and everything on this, and what I believe it shows on iPad Go. But Lion King is number 72, CVN 72, which is 7 plus 2 is 9. So Trump is 45, which is 9. And then Lincoln is 9 as well. Hold on a second. I just had to make sure I had my data off and stuff, so I don't want to be interrupted and then I had a little message come through with just the sound, which is good. So anyway, so Trump, as I've shown, and with phenomenal understanding, I can't believe how this came together, but with the dead Bush in the middle, Trump was 9 and the Lincoln Carrier is 9. They're both added to 9. 45 and 72, both 9. It's the 99. Mr. Dead Bush, George H.W. Bush was Mr. 99, and he was also Mr., which is 9 plus 9 is 18. He was Mr. 18. I mean, good God, it was amazing how many connections with that. And of course, 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. That's why he was Mr. 18. He joined the World War II, and when he was 18 years old, and all these 18s, all these 99s, and it was just phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Okay, anyway, so that would be there's so much to all this. I'm saying all this because I have so many ends tied. I have so many things figured out. I have so much research done over years, not to mention serious research for the last year and a half, but a lot more than that, beyond that. And this, most of it's insight from the Lord. I mean, that he gives me, and then me just working these things out, trying to figure out ultimately this final time. And then 311/312, both coasts, depending on the time zone, are the mega tsunamis that are going to be hundreds of feet high. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then the 314 or March 14th would be the nukes, which is also a birth. So we have a birth beginning symbolically in the beginning, and that's in the 314 is a birth, because that's going to be when Beelzebub Butthead is removed, or revealed, I should say, revealed after the United States is completely destroyed, right after that, or right around about that time. And then at that time, as the nukes come down, the faithful in Christ will go up. The ones who are left at that point, not the people who believe in God or just the faithful, just the remnant. That's just what it is. I'm telling you. Read Revelation 2 and 3 and get an idea of the 7 churches representing the 7 types of Christians in the end times. That'll give you an idea. And how Jesus has certain things against certain people because they had not, for example, they didn't, they forsake their first love, which was him. They made it about other things. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And he said about the Philadelphian church and another church, which I'm not getting into right now, he said about the Philadelphian church, you will not go through the tribulation, basically. You will not go through the trial like everybody else. And there's many other reasons. I have so much scripture to support all this. It's just all the charts. But I don't get into that because I don't want my channel being about a bunch of arguing, and Jesus doesn't either. And he's made it very clear to me that I don't really talk about this too much. I interject certain things about truth because I need to plant seeds in people's hearts and minds before the day happens, because he's told me that most people won't believe most of what I'm saying until after it happens, is what he's told me many times. So anyway, let's get into it here. This will blow your mind, really. It blew my mind. If it doesn't, I don't know. You must be dead or something. I don't know, because it's phenomenal. I mean, it's right in your face, right here. Okay, here we go. So you see what these numbers are. You see what these dates are. Now watch them appear in here. It's phenomenal. So we have the biggest Dow loss was 1031.61, which is 1 is really the third month. Okay, 3 plus 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 14. The next one, 3, obvious. 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, next one, you have 3, obvious in the front. 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 14. The next one, 3 is obvious. 7 plus 1 is 8. That's Obama Day. Then we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus 6 is 14. 314, the final attack day. But look at all these 314s right here. I mean, are you kidding me? The next one, 3, and then 3 plus 5 is 8. We got a couple Obama days here. It's crazy. Here, let's keep going. I'm going to go across here to this one. I'm not going to do every one of them, but just show you. First day, 3. Number 1 is the third month. I mean, the first month, really, which is March, according to the elites. 3 plus 8 is 11. Boom. Now I'm going to take these ones right up here. I'm going to go after a couple of these here and show you how you got to break it down a little bit more. These ones were so easy. I could not believe how easy they were. And they were right there in front of you for all the world to see. They're probably the most obvious ever that I've ever seen. I've went through about 100 of these. It's phenomenal. I'm telling you, this is what they're signaling. This is my grand guess right now. It's just crazy. So if you break this down, okay, and break this one down. So this is, okay, so 1 plus 2 plus 9 is 18. So we have 1 and 8 instead of 2, 7, 9. And then we have 6 and 8. So then let's break it down again. So then we have, of course, this is, March is the first month to the elites. Then we have 8 plus, 6 plus 8 is 14. And then we have 8. So it's 3, 8, 14. So it's showing the 8 Obama day and then the final day attack day right there. Then we have this one. These are a little bit, these are not as clear, but they are there. Okay, these are super clear. And wait till I add all this stuff up, it'll be a lot more clear. But they are there. So this is broken down into 9 plus 2 is 11, and then we have 2, 1, 2, and then the 28 is really 10, which is 1. So what this really is this is the third. March is the third month, but it's the first month to elites. We have 11 plus 2 plus 1 is 14. So it's 314 right there. Let's keep going. Then we have, I just want to show you this. We have 23. Again, these are the only 2 green ones, and they completely relate to each other because it's 23 is 32 backwards, or it's 23, and then 4 plus 5 is 9. So I have 923. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, are you seeing this? And then when you add these two together, which is what I do with these whole columns, you have 23 plus 45, which is 68, and 68 is 6 plus 8, which is 7, 7. Or 14, which is 7, 7. 7 plus 7. I mean, literally in here is 7, 7 and 3, 2, 9, or 9, 2, 3 backwards. And I did this backwards because I want to show 9, 2, 3 backwards, or 3, 2, 9 forward, and that is birth. That is Mr. Old Bucket. Okay, so anyway, so let's go. Now I'm going to add up these columns of red, starting with the right column. So we have 1208. Now what is that? That's pretty obvious. And without me showing you, the 12 is 308. That's Obama Day. Then we have this one right here. Okay, this one is actually, without me breaking it down, is 39. Okay, but now I'm going to break down both of these together. This is what they commonly do. They're separate codes. They're together, added together codes. They're individual up here codes. They're added together codes, and then both columns you added together. And so I'm adding both columns together now. Oh, well, almost now. And then I'm totaling this up right here. Right here, and these are the numbers right here. Now, can you see something in here right here? 311, already. Just already adding these numbers. You see 311 in here, both ways. Okay, now let's just add up these 2 columns of red. Okay, so what's crazy about this is these dots usually separate the adding when you want to combine numbers. Okay, these dots a lot of times separate it, so you know which ones to add. It's just, that's not a coincidence. So 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 is 11. 3 plus 7 plus 1 plus 2 is 22, okay? Or you could say, 3 plus 7 is 10, and then 12 is 22. You can look at it any way, either way. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then there's an 8 here. You keep reducing. 22 plus 8 is 30, and then we have 11. And again, backwards, that's 311. Now let's look at this side over here. I'm just going to show you really simply. It's very simple. What that is. 42 is 4 plus 2 is 6, which is really upside down 9. And then 1 and 1 is 2. And then we have the 3. And then this is obviously 311 because it's separated by a dot as well. This is so crazy. This is separated here, which is obviously separated. These two are together. This obviously, you see 311 right here. So it's 9, 2, 311. I mean, this is crazy. It's kind of like a mirror in a sense, but in a way, but not completely. So do you see that? Hopefully you see that and you're following. Again, they're not going to make it super easy for people. They're going to make it hard somewhat. They're not going to be, but these are super obvious. These are super obvious. I mean, are you kidding me? There's no way these could match. These 311s, these 314. There's no way. I mean, just if you took a random stock market thing any day that wasn't a massive down day or whatever, and try to get these numbers, you can't. You just can't. I've done it many, many times. You can't. You can't make people say you can make numbers, whatever. You know you can't. No, you can't. If you're really being honest about it, like I am showing you everything I'm doing, you can't. You really can't. Sorry. Doesn't work. Okay, so now let me get into, I'm going to get into some stuff about iPad Goat, and I'm going to show you more connections with this date and iPad Goat on the next video, because this is already way too long. Okay, so here's Stinky B.O., and he's got what people think is sweat, but it's really semen coming down here because there's a penis over here on the chalkboard, and it's shooting things up here and unmentionables. Anyway, so V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, okay? And then it comes down, and then it just sneakily has a little J right there upside down. And J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. So let's just put these together, kind of composite, put these together. 22 plus 10 is 32. There's his number again, which is 311. 2 is 11, I believe. And I'm guessing about this. It's not only 32, which is the first day, his birthday, which is March 2nd, but it's also the first tsunami day. And the reason why it would be his another birthday is because tsunamis represent water breaking in a birth. Water breaking, shooting out, you know. If you just imagine this. Imagine the Hawaii being the center of the Pacific Ocean, and around the Pacific Ocean is what they call the Ring of Fire, where all these volcanoes are. And when a woman has a baby and it's coming out the birth canal, it's called the Ring of Fire. And then guess what? Her water breaks and it comes shooting out before and everything. Before the birth, the water comes breaking out. And just imagine water breaking from Hawaii and hitting all the Pacific, going from a massive tsunami caused in Hawaii by the East River, or the East River Zone, falling into the over Helena Slump on the Big Island, falling into the ocean, causing a massive displacement of land, and that's causing a tsunami that's hundreds of feet high, maybe 800 to 1,000 to 1,200 feet high, going across all the Pacific. Water splashing out of the ring of fire, a birth in the middle. Are you kidding me? There's so much to this. It's mind blowing. Okay, I'm telling you, he's the beast that comes out of the sea. He is a beast. Okay, he's a clone. That's another reason why he's a beast. Didn't really have a real mother and father. I'm telling you, he's Barack Akhenaten. He's Akhenaten cloned. In his presidential portrait, he's hiding a sixth finger. There's so many things I could talk about. It's off the charts. I have over 400 reasons, solid reasons why he is the so-called coronavirus, is the crowning virus. There was a fossil named after him. It was called Obamus coronatus, for the crowning of Obama is what that means. And then we just so happen to have a coronavirus, a crowning virus. Are you kidding? Because he's about to be crowned. Seriously. I hope you're with me. You got to follow this because he's about to be revealed. He's going to come back. Trump is going to be eliminated. It's all in predictive programming everywhere. And I'm showing you, I'm one of the people out there. There's not very many, but there's some that are showing some of these things. Now check this out. Why is he number 32? Again, because in the presidential portrait, his legs upside down are 3-2, which I believe very possibly is not only 3-2 March 2nd, which is the first day of the 13 days, but then it's also 2 is 11, which is 1 plus 1, which is the tsunami days, which is his birth because the water's breaking, like I said. Then again, we have the scene in iPad Go, which I've shown down here. And by the way, this, I was going to save this for the next video, but I'll just tell you right now. In Wuhan, where they're building the hospital, one end looks just like that. And this says Wu right here. And then what does this look like? This looks like, not only looks like a shark, but also looks like a cruise ship with windows in it and everything. And what was that? There was oh my gosh. The princess. I have slides and everything of it. The princess cruise or whatever. Can't think what it's called. Anyway, it's a princess something. Anyway, but that's right there in the shape of when the woo's going on And I'm going to show you this. So like I shared in my last few videos, there's woo in the snow. And again, this snow has to do with probably with virus spreading. Also, it's in the wintertime, I believe. And also has to do with being ash as far as destruction and everything. It's multi-layered. This is multi-layered. Upside down, the same message is Han. Because right here, this is an H but it's backwards right here, and then this is A and this is N, like I shared before. This pole makes the cross beam of the flag pole, makes the cross beam of the A, and also makes the little tail of the N right here. This is Wuhan, and then like I shared before as well, that's also where Han is up. This is upside down. Han is backwards. HAN is backwards here. It's also 911. I've shared that, but I've added this because I've seen this before, but I didn't know exactly what this means until now. Down here, these little lines right here, and this little 2 right here is a 12. And so it's 9, 11, and 12. And months ago, I thought it could have been September 11th and 12th. But what this actually is, this means 9113, because 12, again, is 3. So it's 9113, or is 911/311 backwards. So 911 is 311. Or it's 911/3 is 923, or backwards 329. And like I said before, several years ago, I had an amazing, crazy dream where the Lord said, 923, America is laid low. This is what that means, I believe. Possibly I might have finally figured this out. God, I hope so. So I just want to thank you. I'm at the end of this part 1, and I'm going to have a part 2 out at some point. I just want to thank you for all your support, for watching my videos, sharing my videos. I want to have a big shout out and thank you for everyone who's supported me and my family financially as well. Everybody who's shared my videos, everybody who has prayed for me. I thank you 1,000 times. 1,000 thanks. 1,000 thanks. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you're supporting me financially, thank you. Every gift has meant a lot, from every amount. Thank you so much. And I just can't get to everybody, of course. And I got a busy life with 4 kids, 2 of those kids being twin babies, and and all this stuff. It's crazy. So, and I also want to ask for more help financially as well. I want to ask you for prayer. Please continue to pray for me. If you haven't, please pray for me and my family. We're always under attack, different things. It's always something. And I don't just mean living life. I mean being on YouTube and stuff. Literally, just weird, random things happen. And sometimes I get some weird thing I'm feeling, and then I'll just pray against it in Jesus' name, or my family will pray for me, and then it will just go. I mean, like people putting stuff on me or something. I don't know, but it's not going to be successful. It never is, very successful very long, because the Lord is mighty. The Lord is mighty. Jesus is mighty. Jesus is wise. And then I want to ask for your continued support financially. And I'm going to have a link in the description box. If you're able to give any more, or you're able to give for the first time, any amount, please, I need it. I just was able to cover my rent that's about due in a couple days, and I now need other things. Food and all kinds of fun stuff. So this has just constantly been the last few months, a faith walk completely. It's what the Lord wants me to do, to show this stuff. And He's coming through amazingly, especially with this last bit of information in this video. I am totally still blown away by all the times, all the connections with all these things. Hopefully you are too. And I just ask for, if you can give any kind of support in any of those 3 ways, I appreciate it, and I definitely need it. So thank you so much. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. My family means it from the bottom of their heart. They appreciate the support that you guys give with prayer and videos, and even monetarily. It's been huge for us, and we're just going along. We're just seem to make just enough, seem to get just enough so that we can survive and live. And so that's all His plan, and God will bless you, and He has blessed you, and He is blessing everybody that is walking with Him. So I thank you so much for that, and I wish the best for all of you. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.